Hi everyone, I'm Jake. Welcome to Green World Product Training video, and the product in focus today is Omega 369. In this video, I will explain what is Omega 369, what are the benefits that we get from it, and who all can benefit from it. So starting the video right away with what is Omega 369. Omega 369 is a group of fatty acids. Fatty acid, basically all the fat that we get from our diet, from our food sources, gets digested, absorbed and stored in our body as fatty acids, and omega 369 are basically one of those fatty acids. So let's start with the benefits of these omega 369, starting with number one, the benefits of omega 3 fatty acids. So as you can see on the slide, these omega-3 are classified into four different groups. DHA forms an essential building block of our brain, nerve and eye tissues. Next is EPA. It helps to reduce inflammation and blood clots within our cardiovascular system. Then we have DPA. It is as essential as DHA and EPA because DPA is a kind of fatty acid which acts like a key. It opens up and makes way for DHA and EPA to perform their function and get utilized properly. In a nutshell, without DPA, you will not be able to absorb DHA and EPA. And then we have ALA, which can be partially derived even from vegetable oils, green leafy vegetables, and our body can partially convert ALA into DHA and EPA. Now let's have a look at benefits of omega 6 and 9. The omega 6 that is available in our product, omega 369, is GLA, that is gamma linolenic acid, which is actually anti-inflammatory. In general, omega 6 fatty acids are pro-inflammatory. Let me explain what does it mean. So let me break it down for you. Omega 3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory and omega 6 fatty acids are pro-inflammatory. So what is the difference? Inflammation, it sounds dangerous, right? Very dangerous to us. But our body needs certain amount of inflammation, that is temporary inflammation. And why is it required? To save us from any kind of viral and bacterial infection or attack. Alright, let's try and understand this inflammation through an example. Now, it is most likely that you must have experienced a bee sting or at least a small cut on your skin. Now, whenever that bee sting or small cut happens, the skin around that area becomes red and it gets swollen as well. That is called inflammation, right? Inflamed. Suddenly it gets inflamed. And that inflammation is created by our own immune system, our defense mechanism. The whole idea behind creating that inflammation is to protect us from any kind of bacteria or viruses who can enter our system through that cut mark or that venom to enter our system through that bee sting. So that inflammation is created by our immune system. But after 3 or 4 days, that inflammation goes down, right? And that area becomes normal and we are protected from any infection. So in a way, a short-term and temporary inflammation is required. So that is a temporary inflammation which is good for our system. Similarly, in our body as well, our tissues and cells are always under the threat of viral or bacterial infection and they also need protection. So a temporary inflammation is required even to protect our cells and tissues, and that inflammation is created again by using omega 6 fatty acids. Now, that inflammation needs to go down as well, and for that we need something which is anti-inflammatory, and that's why we need omega 3 fatty acids. So omega 6 fatty acids create that temporary inflammation to fight bacterial and viral infections, and omega 3 fatty acids then are required to calm down that inflammation created by omega 6. That's why We need the combined effect of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid. So that's what it means, pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. Next is omega-9. Omega-9 fatty acids are required to improve or manage the cholesterol profile in our body, and it can be produced by our body itself. So this was the basic introduction of omega-3, 6 and 9. Now let's move further and try and dig deeper into this. Have a look at this slide, and the ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 that is ideal for human beings is 1:1. That is one portion of omega-6 and one portion of omega-3. That way that inflammation and anti-inflammation effect is properly balanced in our body. Now the problem arises due to our modern lifestyle. You can have a look at the picture and see that in today's time, the way we consume our food, the ratio of omega-6 and 3 is completely haywire. We are almost consuming 20 portions of omega-6 in comparison to one portion of omega-3. So these 20 portions of omega-6 are creating inflammation. Do you think that one portion of omega-3 would be enough to create that anti-inflammatory effect on this? No. And that's why our body starts suffering from chronic inflammation instead of temporary inflammation. Now just imagine the example that I gave you, that bee sting. Just for 3 days, if it stays on our skin, it irritates us so much, and there is always that sensitivity to touch and pain, right? Now, if it doesn't go down in 3 days and it stays on your hand for an entire month, how miserable would you feel? And that's exactly what happens inside our body on cellular level. When the ratio of omega-6 and 3 is 20:1, our cells are always inflamed, and that results in all these chronic illnesses, type 2 diabetes, thyroid disorders, high blood pressure, cardiovascular issues, and brain problems. All these chronic illnesses then start erupting in our body. So let's talk a little bit about our food choices. The kind of food, of course, junk food, we all eat junk food. Once in a while, I would say it's not bad, but when it becomes a habit, when your breakfast turns into McDonald's burgers every day, then you're heading in the wrong direction. And then on top of that, we consume a lot of food or packaged food or processed food from the supermarket. Everything that goes on the shelf of supermarket mostly uses hydrogenated vegetable oils or oil shortenings. So basically, those hydrogenated vegetables oils are processed so that they stay cold or in the solid form on in room temperature as well, and that way it increases the shelf life of all those processed food. It includes everything that you find on the shelf and all the processed meat as well. The problem with that is the hydrogenated vegetable oils, they go rancid and they contain high amount of omega-6 fatty acid, because during the entire processing step of those hydrogenated vegetable oil, they lose all their omega-3s, and most of these oils are canola oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, mostly oils which are derived from seeds, and it is very difficult to extract oil from the seeds, and that's why they are exposed to heat processing. In the heat processing, again, they lose their beneficial omega-3 fatty acid, and what they are left with is omega-6 fatty acids. So on a daily basis through our food, a lot of omega-6 is entering our body, but omega-3 is missing. That's why there is constant inflammation happening, and we need to strike a proper balance between these two ratios of omega-3 and omega-6. One portion of 6, you need another one equal portion of omega-3. Otherwise, again, the balance will go haywire. Now, of course, one precautionary measure is that we need to stop consuming processed food, food from the shelf, try and eat something which is more fresh so that we can reduce the intake of omega-6. And second thing that we can do is start using some supplement which provides you a well-balanced ratio of omega-3, 6 and 9. And the best part about omega-3, 6, 9 from Green World is the ratio of omega-3 is to 6 is 1 is to 1. And on top of that, the omega-6 that is present in our product is not inflammatory. It is anti-inflammatory because it is GLA, that is gamma linolenic acid. Gamma linolenic acid is the only omega-6 which is anti-inflammatory and not pro-inflammatory. So don't get confused that if omega-6 is inflammatory, then why is it present in omega-3, 6, 9? Always remember, it is GLA, that is gamma linolenic acid, and that is anti-inflammatory. Another point to ponder here is that omega-3 fatty acids can be derived from seafood. Of course, it can be. All the fatty fish, they provide you omega-3, and the only problem is that marine life these days suffers from a lot of pollution, and if you rely solely on seafood for getting your omega-3s, your body will also be taking in a lot of mercury, that is a toxin for your system. So yes, I would not discourage you from eating seafood. I would say yes, eat your seafood, but don't totally rely on that because it is difficult to deal with mercury toxicity in your body. So keep your servings limited, don't fully rely on it. Furthermore, a lot of seafood consumption also results in a dreadful joint disease called gout because this seafood increases the amount of uric acid, and then that uric acid causes all these issues like gout. So you have to be very careful and well balanced in your food intake if you're targeting omega-3 from food. All in all, the whole idea is that through our food sources we are getting enough omega-6 to create inflammation. In fact, it is creating more than inflammation. So what we need is more omega-3 to counteract the effect of this omega-6, and that's why we suggest taking omega-3, 6, 9 supplement and also reduction in omega-6 food sources. Now let's talk about the health benefits of omega-3. Number one, it helps to lower blood pressure. I'm going to show you a slide on which I'll read passages from a study. Omega-3 fatty acids EPA and DHA found in fatty fish and fish oil supplements reduce blood pressure are as effectively as lifestyle changes such as exercising more, cutting back on salt, or limiting alcohol. According to a recent meta-analysis published in American Journal of Hypertension. Results from this study built on a wealth of prior data indicating that EPA plus DHA intake reduced the risk of cardiovascular events. It is now well established that EPA and DHA reduce triglycerides and blood pressure, and even highly critical meta-analyses have found that they reduce cardiac death risk by 9%. Okay, next benefit is helps in maintaining heart health. Let's read another study. Large-scale epidemiologic studies suggest that people at risk for coronary heart disease benefit from consuming omega-3 fatty acids from plants and marine sources. Although the ideal amount to take is not firmly established, evidence from prospective secondary prevention studies suggest that intakes of EPA plus DHA ranging from 0.5 to 1.8 grams per day significantly reduce the number of deaths from heart disease and all causes. These data support the 2000 AHA dietary guidelines recommendation to include at least 2 servings of fish, particularly fatty fish, per week. For ALA, a total intake of 1.5 to 3 grams per day seems beneficial. Although definitive data from prospective randomized clinical trials are still needed. Next benefit of omega-3, it helps in joint pain. Let's read another study. The use of NSAID, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, medications is a well-established effective therapy for both acute and chronic non-specific neck and back pain. Extreme complications including gastric ulcers, bleeding, myocardial infarction, and even deaths are associated with their use. Of course, we all know that medications have their side effects. Now, An alternative treatment with fewer side effects that also reduces the inflammatory response and thereby reduces pain is believed to be omega-3 EFAs found in fish oil. A questionnaire was conducted by Department of Neurological Surgery, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, Pittsburgh, PA, USA. From March to June 2004, 250 patients who had been seen by a neurosurgeon and were found to have non-surgical neck or back pain were asked to take a total of 1200 mg per day of omega-3 found in fish oil supplements. Conclusions: our results mirror other controlled studies that compared ibuprofen and omega-3 essential fatty acids, demonstrating equivalent effect in reducing arthritic pain. Omega-3 EFA fish oil supplements appear to be a safer alternative to NSAIDs for treatment of non-surgical or neck or back pain in this selective group. So that is a very encouraging study. Next important benefit of omega-3, it improves brain function. Let's read another study. Approximately 8% of the brain's weight is comprised of omega-3 fatty acids, the building block for an estimated 100 billion neurons. DHA and EPA play a host of vital roles in neuronal structure and function, protecting them from oxidative damage, inflammation, and the cumulative destruction inflicted by other chronic insults. For children, in one of the largest studies of omega-3, according to the prestigious journal Lancet, scientists analyzed the diets of 12,000 pregnant women. They found that children of those who consumed the least omega-3 were 48% more likely to score in the lowest quartile on IQ test. For aged people, people with lower blood levels of omega-3 fatty acids had lower brain volumes that were equivalent to about 2 years of structural brain aging. Next benefit of consuming omega-3 supplement is vision benefits. According to an analysis of several studies conducted by researchers at Harvard School of Public Health and published in the journal Pediatrics, the authors found that healthy preterm infants who were fed DHA supplemented formula showed significantly better visual acuity at 2 and 4 months of age, compared with similar preterm infants who were fed formula that did not contain the omega-3 supplement. Researchers indicate that diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids are good for the eyes of older people, offering protection against age-related macular degeneration, a common cause of blindness in elderly. The findings are published in the December issue 2010 of Ophthalmology, the Journal of the American Academy of Ophthalmology. So I believe the conclusions from all those studies which I just read are quite extraordinary, and it gives us more confidence about using this product omega-369. So now let's focus on the ingredients and the dosages that are there in Green World omega-369. Let's have a look at this picture. So as you can see, it has a fish oil blend of 400 mg. Then we have flaxseed oil, which is 400 mg. So in our Green World omega-369, we have a perfect blend of marine and plant sources. And now I'll give you a breakdown of all different fatty acids as well. As far as the suggested dosage is concerned, 2 to 3 capsules twice a day is good. Alright guys, so that was all the information I had about omega-369. Pick up your omega-369 from Green World and start enjoying the benefits. I'll see you guys next time for another informational training video. Till then, bye.